Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Conflict Counselor podcast. I'm your host, attorney mediator Chris Capoccia. On the Conflict Counselor, I share strategies to help you avoid disputes and navigate conflict in personal and business relationships. Let's get right into episode 2, entitled For Customers: How to Avoid Disputes with Contractors. We all have need from time to time to hire a professional contractor for repairs, improvements, and the like. Here are 6 pointers, all equally important, from my experience mediating hundreds of customer-contractor disputes. Number 1, obtain references for the contractor. Talk to other folks who have used the contractor and get their feedback. Sadly, more than a few cases are filed in our court against contractors who are basically scammers, taking the customer's money with no intention of performing any work. References allow you to determine whether a contractor is legitimate and the quality of their work. Number 2, get a detailed quote for the job in writing, whether it's landscaping, painting, remodeling, or simply fixing a problem like a water leak. Have the contractor provide a written quote specifying the work to be performed, the cost, timetable, warranty, if any, etc. All the important details. And note, if the contractor is not willing to provide a detailed quote in writing, you've got the wrong contractor. Move on to another. I have mediated many a case in which there was a dispute about the materials, timing, scope of the project, and other issues, a dispute that a clear writing would have prevented. And remember also, once a quote is signed by the parties, it usually becomes the contract which governs the transaction. And that is what the judge or mediator will focus on if there is a dispute. Incidentally, depending on the nature of the contract and the services provided, you may have a right to cancel even after signing. So keep that in mind. Number 3, confirm changes to the contract in writing. Another common dispute occurs when changes, such as in design, scope of work, etc., are not documented in writing, and the job doesn't turn out the way you expected. And try to avoid text messages to confirm changes. Speaking from personal experience, it's hard for judges and mediators to wade through often voluminous text messages to determine what went wrong. Instead, write a clear addendum to the contract. Bottom line, change is a fact of life, especially in these transactions. Let's get it in writing. The 4th pointer on how to avoid disputes with contractors: put down as small amount of a deposit as possible, within reason. Now, you may not have a choice in the matter, but try to negotiate a low but fair deposit. It's much easier to get a little money back than a lot of money back if a problem arises. Unfortunately, I've seen more than a few cases where contractors take the deposit and run, never to be heard from again. Now, understand that it's reasonable for a contractor to charge a modest deposit to schedule your job and to order materials. Number 5, inspect the contractor's work in progress and after completion. Many disputes can be avoided by catching and correcting honest mistakes early, and mistakes happen in these transactions. And before making the final payment, inspect to make sure that the work was done according to contract and to your satisfaction. Finally, our last pointer, but certainly not the least, maintain regular communication with the contractor. Things happen in life, right? I've mediated cases in which the customer or contractor was sick, on vacation, or whatever, and communication just stopped. And you can imagine the resulting problems when decisions have to be made and folks don't communicate. This brings us to a good lesson at the end of the podcast about navigating conflict in general. It's all about communication. And I don't mean just trading words. I mean taking the time to appreciate the often strongly held feelings behind the words on both sides. It is only when we understand what is behind the words that we have true, effective communication. Thanks for listening to the Conflict Counselor. In episode 3, we're going to turn things around a bit and discuss, for contractors, how to avoid disputes with customers. As always, let me know what you think about the Conflict Counselor podcast and about life in general. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. See you next time on the Conflict Counselor.